Hi again, this is Sami. Today my son, brought me parallel lines. He's in grade 7 and he's just started parallel lines. So I told him parallel lines are really simple. Why they are simple? Because you're only dealing with two angles, the two different measurements. What does that mean? So if you look in here, right here, look at, I numbered all the angles. We call these parallel lines. Parallel lines, basically, they are lines that they go in the same direction. They never meet because they have the same slope. And then we have what we call a transversal, a straight line that crosses both parallel lines. When we have this situation, then we have angle 1 to 8, but there are only two measurements. What does that mean, two measurements? What I mean is, if this is 50, for instance, degrees, then this will be 130 degrees. 130 degrees. Why, if this is 50, this is 130? Because if you look here, we call this angles on a line. So the angle from here all the way to there is 180. So if this is 50, then this would be 130, because 50 plus 130 will give you 80, or will give you 180. Now we agree that there are only two measurements. So since it's 50 and 130, maybe let's just go back to 50 and 130. That means all of these angles here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they're either 50 or 130. There's nothing else. There's no other measurement. So that's very important to understand about parallel lines. There are only two measurements, or two measures of angles when you have parallel lines. If this is 40, then this would be 140, and all of them would be like that, either 40 and 140. Now, since that's the case, then which angles are equal here and which ones are not? So which angles are equal? We have some things that we mentioned here: alternate interior angles, corresponding angles, interior angles on the same side of transversal. Don't worry about that now. Let's just look at this. By eyeballing this, you should know which angles are the same, since we said there are only two measurements of angles. And if it's like 110, let's say one angle is 110 and the other angle is 70, then all of these angles, they'll be either 70 or 110. So let's agree on that. Now, by eyeballing this, you know this angle here is this big, you know. So, and this angle here is a lot bigger. So this angle and this angle definitely will not be the same. So let's go back. So by eyeballing this, can I agree this is the same size as this? Also the same size as this, and the same size as this? Because just by eyeballing this, you would know these angles are the same. How about the other angles that are the same? So if you look how big that is, that's big. Also, this is the same. It looks like it's the same size. Also, this is the same size, and also this is the same size. So therefore, 1, 4, 5, and 8 will be exactly the same. So now 2, 3, 6, and 7 are the same, and 1, 4, 5, and 8 are the same. So if 2 is the 70 degrees, then 3 will be 70, 6 will be 70, and 7 will be 70. If it's 1, it measures 110, then 4 will be 110, 5 will be 110, and 8 will be 110. So that, be assured, that's always the case with parallel lines with a transversal going through them. Now let's look at some definitions. Okay. And we're gonna assume, you know, we're just gonna use the 70 and 110 to make sense out of this. Give me 1 second here. So now, alternate interior angles, we go to some definitions here. Alternate interior angles, we call this the Z rule. are equal. So the alternate interior angles equal. Interior means on the same side of the transversal. Sorry, let me say that one more time. Interior means on the inside of the parallel lines. Inside means this area right here, this area right there. This is inside of the parallel lines. Exterior will be these here. 7 and 8 are exterior. 1 and 2 are exterior because they are on the outside of the parallel lines. And interior on the inside. So 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, they are interior. They are on the inside of the parallel lines. Alternate means they are on alternate sides of the transversal. So 3 and 6, they are alternate. See, this one is on the left side of the transversal, and number 6 is on the right side of the transversal, which is the red line right here. So we call them alternate because they are alternate interior on the inside. So that means angle 3, and this symbol just means angle. Angle 3 and 4, they are alternate interior. Also, and they will be equal. Also, 5 and 4 so therefore angle 3 is alternate interior to angle 6. That means they're equal. Also, angle 4 will be alternate interior to 5. It's obvious this equals this, and we call this alternate interior. They are on the different sides of the transversal thread, and they are interior on the inside of the parallel lines. Also, we call it the Z rule because if you go like this, you make a Z between the 3 and the 6. Also, if you go like this, you make a Z between the 4 and 5, except the Z is kind of funny Z, you know, but the other one looks more like this. All right. So now let's agree that we know angle 2, 3, 6, and 7 are equal just by looking at them. But also we have to know some definitions, which is the first thing is alternate interior. How about corresponding angles? So if you look at the angle 2 equals angle 6, they are on the same side of the transversal, both on the right, and they are corresponding. They correspond to one another. So just think of it as corresponding. This is the same size as this. That's how I look at it. Corresponding means the same size as this. And they are equal, and therefore they're corresponding. So 1 here will correspond to 5. See, this is above the parallel lines, and they are the same side of the transversal. 6 and 2, the same thing. Also 8 and 4, they are also corresponding. So corresponding, they are always on the same side of the transversal. Just look at on the same side of the transversal, like on the right side, for instance, 4, it looks exactly the same size as 8. So we call it corresponding angles. 2 and 6 are corresponding angles. So now we'll agree that when corresponding angles, angle 1 corresponds to angle 5, sorry, and that would be equal. Angle 3 equal to angle 7 because they are corresponding. Angle 2 corresponds, so it's equal to angle 6. And angle 4 equals angle 8, corresponding angles. So this is how we know corresponding angles. It's very important though to know that which angles they look equal, you know, just by eyeballing. I mean, if you make maybe the transversal a little bit, let's say if we make a transversal more like this, maybe it's not as obvious as this, but still is pretty obvious. You know, like if the another transversal right there, then we'll definitely agree that this angle here is the same size as this angle just by eyeballing it. Also, this and this are the same size. You see how small they are. This is acute. This is acute, and the other one obtuse. Yeah, so obtuse is bigger than 90. Acute is less than 90. So this and this, this and this. Also, how do you know this and this are equal? When you have two straight lines intersecting, we call these vertically opposite. So this and this will be vertically opposite, and this will be vertically opposite. So that's another way to know they're equal. Also, this here looks the same size as this one, and this one looks at the same size as this one, and these are the same size as this one. So it's almost, you could find out which ones are equal first by eyeballing them. Yeah. Now, one more thing. Interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So interior angles on the same side of the transversal, we're still talking about 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So interior angles, we agreed they are on the same, they are on the inside of the parallel lines. So if you see, like, if these are two parallel lines, my face is between the two parallel lines, you know? So we're talking about this area right here. So interior angles on the same side of the transversals add up to 180. So again, if this is 70, as we said, that's what we'll use here, then this and this, they are on the same side of the transversal. They are on the left side of the transversal, both of them, and they are interior. So that means these two must add up to 180. So 180 minus 70 will give you 110 here. Yeah. So what that means, it means angle 3 plus angle 5 equals 180 degrees, and angle 4 plus angle 6 also add up to 180. So that's important to know when you're dealing with parallel lines. Now, let's just say a few more things here. So I'm just gonna kind of maybe erase that line and get rid of it. We must say that when we have parallel lines, if I give you the measurement of one angle, you should be able to solve every angle in here. So if I said this is 130 right here, then because these angles are on a line right here, then you'll know this is 50, because angles on a line add up to 180. And if this is 130, this angle here, it looks the same size, this one here, so this will be 130. And that's the rule of corresponding angles. Also, this will be 50 degrees because they are corresponding, the same size, see? And they correspond. Okay. Also, I could tell this is 50 because the Z rule right here, or alternate interior, also vertically opposite angles. When you have two straight lines that intersect, vertically opposite angles are the same. Also, this would be 130 degrees because alternate interior, the Z rule right here, and you know, they look the same size. And this will be 50 degrees because it's either vertically opposite or corresponds to the 50 right there. You see the same size. And this would be 130 right here because it corresponds to this or vertically opposite to that. This and this add up to 180, the interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So this is what I want to tell you about parallel lines. one thing I should repeat, when you have parallel lines, you only have two measurement of angles, nothing else. So if you have 130 and 50, then all of them will be either 130 or 50, nothing else. Just always remember that, and then parallel lines will become very easy once you know that. Okay, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment if you like, and most importantly, just subscribe to my channel, because your support goes a long way. Thank you again. Till next time, bye-bye.